Hello boys and girls. Today we're going to have another chapter of the Tales of Grandfather Frog. This will be our 6th chapter, and if you remember last time, Grandfather Frog has just jumped in the water to get away from Longlegs and Whitetail. This chapter is called Longlegs and Whitetail Quarrel. You see, Longlegs the blue heron had stood very patiently on one foot all the long morning, waiting for Grandfather Frog to go to sleep on his big green lily pad. He had felt sure he was to have Grandfather Frog for his breakfast and lunch, but he had had no breakfast, and it was now lunchtime. He was so hungry that it seemed to him that the sides of his stomach certainly would fall in, because there was nothing to hold them up. And then, without any warning at all, old Whitetail the marsh hawk had glided across the Smiling Pool with his great claws stretched out to clutch Grandfather Frog, and Grandfather Frog had dived into the Smiling Pool with a great splash, just in the very nick of time. Now, is there anything in the world so hard on the temper as to lose a good meal when you are very, very hungry? Of course, Longlegs didn't have really a good meal, but he had thought that he was going to surely have it. So when Grandfather Frog splashed into the Smiling Pool, of course Longlegs lost his temper altogether. His yellow eyes seemed to glow even more yellow. "You robber! You thief!" he screamed harshly at Whitetail. Now old Whitetail was just as hungry as Longlegs, and he had come even nearer to catching Grandfather Frog. He is even quicker tempered than Longlegs, and he whirled like a flash on Jerry Muskrat. But Jerry had just laughed in the most provoking manner and ducked under the water. This made old Whitetail angrier than ever, and then to be called bad names, robber and thief, indeed. It was more than any self-respecting hawk could stand. Yes, it certainly was. He fairly shook with rage as he turned in the air once more and made straight for Longlegs, the blue heron. "I am no more a robber and thief than you are," he shrieked. "You frightened away my frog," screamed Longlegs. "I did not." "You did." "I didn't. It wasn't your frog, it was mine." "Chugrum," said Grandfather Frog to Jerry Muskrat as they peeped out from under some lily pads. "I didn't know that I belonged to anyone. I really didn't. Did you?" "No," replied Jerry, his eyes sparkling with excitement as he watched Longlegs and Whitetail. "It's news to me." "You're too lazy to hunt like an honest people," turned old Whitetail as he wheeled around Longlegs, watching for a chance to strike with his great cruel claw. "I'm too honest to take food out of the mouths of other people," retorted Longlegs, dancing around so as a way to face Whitetail with one of his great broad wings held out in front of him like a shield, and his long strong bill ready to strike. Every feather on Whitetail's head was standing erect with rage, and he looked very fierce and terrible. At last he saw a chance, or thought he did, and shot down. But all he got was a feather from the great wing of which Longtail kept in front of him, and before he could get away with that long bill had struck him twice, so that he screamed with pain. So they fought and fought till the ground was covered with feathers, and they were too tired to fight any longer. Then, slowly and painfully, old Whitetail flew away over the green meadows, and with the torn and ragged wings, Longlegs flew heavily down the Laughing Brook towards the big river, and both were sore and stiff and still hungry. Dear me, what a terrible thing! And how useless anger is," said Grandfather Frog as he climbed back on his big green lily pad in the warm sunshine. Well, that's that for a little while for Grandfather Frog. Hope you have enjoyed. We are greatly indebted to Thornton W. Burgess for creating this lovely book of bedtime stories. No doubt I'll read you some more. Take care and see you soon.